Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 157 of my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play series. For last episode, we finished episode 1 of Living World Season 3, and next episode, we will be heading into episode 2 of Living World Season 3, but we are going to go ahead and do the prologue for the next episode, a special side story that was introduced to the game in between these two episodes when this was live content. But really quickly, in our mastery page, we can go ahead and go to Heart of Thorns, and I did a little bit of more experience farming, and I got all of the experience that I needed to level up my raid mastery again, where we get Forsaken Thicket Waters. And this is not going to be anything that we will ever really be interacting with, but it just makes our number go up a little bit higher, which is fun. And I'll just continue doing It's a Lore, which I don't think we'll be progressing at all today, because we are going to go ahead and come back into our achievements page. We're going to come down to side stories, and now we have the side story that I just looked at a second ago. There it is. I'm hovering over it literally. We have Transfer Chaser, where we have this big achievement, and then we have a bunch of Sensor Scouter achievements, but this one, Disturbance in the Depths, where we need to speak with Cease or Sice or Sace Burnt Heart about magic reactions in the north, where we can go ahead and head to the north, and let's come to Earthshake Basin. And the last time that I did anything related to this was when it was current content in 2016, and we have our little friend right here, an Elemental Sprite, alongside Sace Burnt Heart, who we can go ahead and chat with, and she says, they all doubted me, but the claws on the other paw now, isn't it? What do you mean? I used my magic to track a disturbance from here to the coast, decided it was an elder dragon moving deep down, and I think that was a spoiler. Let's go ahead and check with this elemental sprite, where the elemental hums at you intuit that it wants your help finding magical sensors. And now we get a little bit of a mini game, and we'll come back to this character in a little bit, where we have sensor tracking. Activate the guidance enchantment to indicate the direction and proximity of magical sensors. Let me just double check with her really quickly, and we are going to go ahead and then begin participating in this mini game, where if you're somebody who played like archaeology and World of Warcraft, you might be a little bit familiar with this, but we are going to get a bunch of markers, where we have 5 initial markers, and we need to head into the directions that they are pointing, where we're going to have 3 different colors. One is going to be red, one is going to be blue, and one is going to be green, where, as you can maybe tell, we are trying to find different things located around the map. And when a marker is red, that means it is very far away. When a marker is blue, that means we're getting a little bit closer. And when a marker is green, that means we are right next to it. And then we just need to triangulate the exact specific location that it is at. So let's go ahead and do this again. So a little bit this way. And I see this right here. We can recover that. And then we can go ahead and start heading back over here, where I think we can waypoint. And we do have a little buff that is on our buff bar here, sensor tracking. Let's go ahead and do this. And we did miss one that was maybe right over here, and it is indeed right here. And I think these do spawn in random areas of the map. So really, you can't just like cheese it by trying to follow a guide. And let's waypoint all the way over here. Let's go really far this way, because we could try to utilize waypoints to try to like triangulate it as well. And then we do have an issue where I wasn't fully loaded in yet when I used it, so now I just have to sit here and wait a little bit, and there you can try again. And there's one pretty close this way. We can see it there. I did hear a thing where it is important to have your graphic settings up high. I'm not sure what like the specific graphic settings you need are, but if you just like pump them up a little bit during this specific activity, you're going to have a bit of a better time, even if you are lagging. And this is just a very interesting like thing to have implemented into the game, because it is indeed a side story, and I think that's what I love about the idea of side stories, is that they are complementary content, where I don't think we were going to get a lot of the lore that we got way back in the day. But essentially, if we chatted with Sace, we are following the path of the Elder Dragon Primordus, who is deep underground. And for anyone who played through or knows anything about the original Guild Wars expansion, I should have stood still when I was doing that. If you know anything about the original Guild Wars expansion, Eye of the North, you should be very familiar with Primordus being underground at the Leyline Hub, and that is where he has been for a very long time until very recently at the end of the last episode of Living Road Season 3, where Primordus is stirring. And now we know that he's moving away from the central Leyline surrogate hub that was located underground. Let's go this way. Nice Quaggan. And he's now moving somewhere, so we're just going to be tracking his movements. And I think back in 2016, this was introduced to the game over the course of weekly updates, where we are going to be going to different maps in the future, and I might consider, let's just run this way, where each map was added after the previous map on a weekly basis. So you logged in for a little bit, did the transfer chasing in one map, and then waited until the next week doing, you know, all the other content of Guild Wars 2 until you went to the next map. And I think it's just a really, really fun concept to just be like tracking and outer tracking. It's like deep underground. And as we go through these maps, we are going to be getting hints to where the Elder Dragon is going, and that is going to be a massive hint for where we will be going next in Living Road Season 3. But first, we need to go ahead, find this last little thingy. I actually forget what it's called. Magical sensors. Okay, we're getting close. So I think maybe if you just keep running in a straight line, we might be able to see it without using the thing. Should be maybe up here somewhere. Let's use it again. Okay, further this way. It's still blue, still pretty far away. Maybe on the other side of this. It's kind of fun to be in Frostgorge Sound. It's been a while since we've been here. And there it is, right there. So let's go ahead and retrieve this. And transfer chaser has been progressed. Where I feel like we should be doing that first, but I'm not sure. It seems spoilery, so we'll come back to it. So we have completed Frostgorge Sound, and next we have Sensor Scouter Snowden Drifts. So let's go ahead and go. I believe, if memory serves correctly, we want to come to High Pass Haven. And if we come into the fort, we can see through the wall there the icon for the side story. Where let's go ahead and get started. So we immediately have a blue one, and then there's 3 red ones that look like they were kind of pointing north, and there's not a lot of north to go. So let's go ahead. It must be right around here. It might be on my screen right now, but I'm just not seeing it with my eyeballs. Okay, back this way. There it is. Retrieve that. And then we do have some wolves here that we can try to kill really quickly. And then let's go ahead and track this again. Oh, I thought it was pointing north. Maybe it wasn't. Let's go ahead and run this way first. The northernmost one. We'll keep an eye out for any of them changing to blue, and maybe let's waypoint all the way over here. It might be in between where we were and where we waypointed, but it could be even further. So this will help triangulate it a little bit. But I just love all of the side stories that are present in Guild Wars 2, where I explored the Knight of the Thorn side story already, and I did a little bit of random side stories that like aren't super important in that recent stream that I was talking about. But this one is very, very exciting. But the next one that I am planning to do is just an absolutely phenomenal side story, and I'm super excited to go through it again. It is called Burden of Choice, and if you know it, you know. But I'm so excited to get to that in the future. I saw that it was green, but I just can't really get around here. It's maybe on the other side. It might be... oh, it's blue again. Okay, let's try to get here. Okay, maybe here. Oh, this is where having mounts would come in handy, but this was added before mounts were introduced. I feel like... let's see here. Oh, I'm so dumb. Okay, let's retrieve this. And let's continue this way. Where, over by the waypoint, there was another blue one. So if we get to here, let's go this way. There's been a lot of bandit activity in Kryta, and we've seen a lot of anti-queen propaganda. And we even saw, I don't think we saw it in the stream, but a little bit of that side story is that some of the bandits hold white mantle badges, which is very interesting. I see this right here, don't even have to use it. Retrieve that. And let's get out of here. And let's track this again. So this is going really far this way. Let's go ahead and go to Snowdrift Haven. And let's just see, maybe it's further. It's most likely in between, because I don't think we ever really have to go like super far. But we can kind of see that it's making a line a little bit here, where we had like one here and then we had one here. Oh, we had one way up here though, I guess. Oh, so we have a line that went to here, and then there's like one over here. I forget where the fifth one is. But then we had one here, one over here, and now one over there, and presumably one that's pretty close that way. We do have one over here. Let's check this out really quickly. I think this is the furthest one, and then we need to go back. Okay. Is it underneath us, actually? I do know there's the underwater cave. Okay, so it's like directly underneath us. And, oh, it's right there. Kill this ice run very quickly. Let's go ahead and retrieve that. And then using this, we want to go back this way. I don't think there's really a waypoint. I guess we could go here. I think it's probably going to be like right here or something. But at this waypoint, I'll just run this way for a second just to make sure I fully loaded. Go ahead and get that. Oh, it's actually much further this way. So we could maybe even go to this waypoint, and then maybe it's in between the two, or maybe it's further. Let's go ahead, activate that. And it is actually pretty far this way, so a good thing we waypointed. Over towards the Owl Lodge, one of the Norn spirits of the wild that is lost. Have all the Svanir shenanigans going on too. Looks like it's actually more this way towards King Jollis's refuge. Or actually, wait, the Owl Lodge is right there. Never mind. Let's go ahead, track this way, and then it should be right around here. Retrieve that. And then that is everything in Snowdin Drifts. And we also got some destroyer slivers, and now we got fragments, so we're getting some stuff related to the destroyers, which makes sense since we are interacting with Primordus to some extent here. Next, we're going to Lornar's Pass. So we started in Frostgorge Sound, and then we came down to Snowdin Drifts. Now we're going to Lornar's Pass. I think it's over here at the Nintor Consolidated Mine, where I think it's up in the upper areas. It's actually down here, right next to the entrance. We have this elemental sprite, and let's go ahead and get started. Where we have one very close this way. Let's go up here if we can, because it might be like right on the other side of this wall potentially. And I'm just going to, this is kind of cheating with like the raptor, but over to here, and it's right there. I think this map might be a little bit harder to navigate because there's just so much stuff going on. It could be potentially in very tricky areas. Okay, looks like I want to go down in this way. It can be difficult to see the red, blue, or green symbol if you're like really high up or really high above it specifically, because it can be like underground, because we're missing one of them right now and I'm not entirely sure which way we're supposed to go for that one. But it could be, I feel like there was one pointing this way, and it could be down here maybe. Let's get down here. Use this, and then we have a blue one pointing this way. So not 100% correct, but we do have this other ravine over here that it could potentially be in. That is something that would make a decent amount of sense. Let's go ahead, get to the edge, and then use this. Still further away, but we do have to go down in order to progress this direction over towards the entrance of Lornar's Pass, and then should be right around here. Again, it is definitely kind of hard. Oh, it's right here. I saw the pop-up for it before I saw it itself. That's kind of funny. Now we have 3 red going in this direction. Let's go to Pinnacle Enclave. Go this way. Of course, another big thing with the side stories happening during Living World Season 3 is just a lot of unstable magic and unbound magic across Tyria, with the ley line anomalies forming, and just like the ley lines going crazy and the magical balance of the world going crazy, following the defeat of Mordremoth. And now we see an Elder Dragon stirring. There should be right around here. I think I went past it potentially. If anyone sees it, let me know. Oh, I went way past it. It's way back over here. Could be in like the cave that's... Oh, it's right there. I don't know if they spawn in caves. I keep wondering if maybe they're in caves. The next sensor tracking, both are this way. So this is like really far south. I think they might be both further north, but let's go ahead and just try this. We're getting close to a Primordius area. Okay, there's a blue one this direction. Presumably on the other side of this mountain, maybe a little bit further. But if we just loop around here... Oh, both of them are blue, so I guess it's a good thing that we did come much further south. I see one of them there. It stood out for me. I just have to get up to it. And retrieve that. And then one more. I think it's this way. We gotta go down. It was blue back over there. And I just love Guild Wars 2 being a perpetual open world, because I just love seeing random people just doing their own adventures in Lornar's Pass as we come through here, doing content that if those people are low level, they probably won't be doing for a very long time, as we are now in episode 157 of my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play series. A long ways to go indeed, and we're only in 2016 as far as content in Guild Wars 2 goes, where we started in 2012, and of course, the real world year, we are in 2026. So we got like 10 more years to go, not counting any content that's introduced to the game between now and by the time we catch up to it now. Okay, I think we need to go... Oh, there it is. Right there on the ground. This is the last one. Retrieve it. And Sensor Scouter Lornar's Pass complete. And now we have Sensor Scouter Blood Tide Coast. So let's go. I think we want to come through here. We went all the way south to Lornar's Pass, and now we're kind of going west a little bit, and I believe Marshwatch Haven is where we want to go. And then right next to the waypoint, let's go ahead, get started, start tracking. So immediately there's one this way, which should probably be the first one we go for, because we're right at the edge of the map. Should be like right here. Let's go ahead and do this again. Over here. My eyes deceive me. See the boulder. But where is it? Okay, over here? Okay, I see the recover. Oh, there it is. The yellow and green is so hard to see. Retrieve it. And next, there was another blue one back this way. So let's just run over here really quickly. And we do seem to be just perpetually heading further south and southwest with each map. So I think we can assume, since we're starting in the northeastern corner, that most of these magical thingies are going to be south and west and southwest of where we currently are. So we could probably just perpetually head in that direction. Lots of frogs around here that you can pick up and collect. Which I've done a fair amount of on my characters just for the fun of it. I think, or maybe I'm not thinking at all. Maybe my brain is turned off. I don't see it. I thought it would maybe be right there. Okay, it's this way, but there's like 20 marsh drakes. Blow them up. This is probably going to be another... Oh, it's right there. Retrieve that. I got some marsh frogs. I can peek at my awful inventory management right now. And let's go this way. If you use this, they're all red, so I think we can maybe waypoint to Stormbluff Isle, because I think that's probably going to be the right direction for us to go, and probably a good amount of space to skip over. And maybe we need to go even more. Let's go to Laughing Gull Island. We're island hopping, but with waypoints instead of a boat. And let's try the tracking here. Okay, so one that direction. So let's go to Fritside Vigil, back over towards the mainland. And then we can do this again. Oh, really far this way. Okay. Could go to Bogside Camp, since the waypoint is available right now. The prior camp is built and not destroyed by the Risen. And let's go ahead and begin tracking. There's a blue one this direction. And we can just try to keep an eye out for it. But of course, everything is green in this map. And the little thingy... Oh, black spike. And the little thingies are green and yellow. And I'm also a little colorblind, but I'm not sure how exactly I am colorblind. Isn't like 25% of men are colorblind, so... Let's go over this way. Okay. I must have like really gone past it. Because I think it was green back over here and now it's blue. Oh, I see it. This one's really standing out for me. I just went really far past it to retrieve that. And then over here, just get to a nice flat space. 2 red in this direction. And let's go to Grand Barrier Isle. I'm not sure where this one is going to be at. So let's just go from here. Okay, one that way. There's a blue one this way. It could be underwater, potentially. And also being in the water is probably a good spot to do this because we can see everything very easily. So we have this Dredge Hat Isle onto another island. And it's still going to be this way furthermore. It's maybe on this eastern part of the island where it's all sandy and stuff. Just raptor over to here and then down this way. I think I moved a little bit when I did that. Let's go ahead and kill this Risen Brute just to clear the space for a moment. And then this way. Oh, it must be on the shore right there. We have this Inquest area that's I feel like I've never really looked at too much. We have a malfunctioning golem. It's really big right here. The icon gets bigger. Retrieve this. And then we did see that it was red this way, so let's go over here. Looks like as Primordius moves underground, he did a little loop-de-loop there. But let's go way over here. I feel like it must be underwater in this area. Let's get to here. It's blue. So I feel like if it was like way over there, it would be red where we used it. But I could be wrong. Still blue. I love the underwater Eteria. So many unique creatures that you don't see on land, of course. I feel like you don't often spend too much time underwater. So they're even extra special. Maybe it is all the way over here. I keep thinking maybe it's in a cave, maybe it's underwater, but it seems like it's always on land. Let's track this again. So still blue, still very far away. I guess it turns blue pretty far away since we're still heading in this direction. Could be maybe on top of here. Let's go ahead and do this again. And we went past it a little bit. Oh, it's so green and yellow here. Let's come to here. Use this again. And I keep going past it a little bit. Okay, I'm really trying to look here. Kill the pirate. Okay, oh, there it is. Under this plant, retrieve that. And we have now completed this next achievement. So let's go ahead, glide over this way, take a look at Transfer Chaser, and next is South Sun Cove. And I actually don't remember where we need to go for this one. I think it's at Pearl Island, but we'll find out. We see some other side story stuff going on over there, but that's for the future. And I'm looking around and I don't see it, so I might actually have to Google for this. Oh, over there. There we go. Elemental Sprite just hanging out in the bar area. Is kind of funny. Where the Elemental Sprite does take place of where Sace was located when this was current content, where when you were doing it week by week you would talk to her in order to start this, so the Elemental Sprite is her replacement as she's only in one location. Alright, let's go ahead and start tracking. And we immediately have a green one, and we saw like 2 blue ones there, I think. Where with the design of South Sun Cove, it is a very small map, so we won't necessarily have to go super far to find any of these, but it is also the most dangerous of the maps that we have been in. So we need to be extra careful as we navigate through here. And there are some tricky areas, like right here feels a little tricky. I was like directly down, but there's like, oh, it's right there. Retrieve that. Okay. There's one. And then we have a blue one this direction. Let's go ahead, waypoint up here. And then I'm just going to continue running all the way this way. Let's see, a warning about the Karka. We're not going to pay heed to that. Lots of young Karka and some Reef Riders. This is a very cute area that I haven't really been to too often, the specific part of the map. I think it's probably going to be right down here somewhere. Somebody probably saw it and is screaming at their screen right now. Let's go ahead and track this again. Okay. Okay, where could it be? If you sit right here, let's try to have a point for us again around here. Oh, it's up. I see it. I see it. Stop screaming. I see it. Let's go around. How do we get back up? I think there was this right here. Was I standing on top of it and then I dropped down? That's a little embarrassing. Let's grab this. And I guess we'll kill the young Karka real quick. Let's go ahead and use this. All 3 are red in this direction. We probably don't have too many waypoints unlocked, but I guess there are a fair number. Let's go ahead, once we're out of combat, eventually, this waypoint to Kiel's Outpost. A new member of the Captain's Council as of the end of Living Road Season 1. There's this, and we're still going in this direction, so maybe we could just waypoint to Lion Point. Maybe it's far enough this way. Could be one right outside here, and probably much further away. And a blue one this direction. We are going to get dismounted, so we'll do this like the old-fashioned way. So we come up here, because we have the jumping puzzle area right here. And we have two blue ones. I think one of them, maybe both of them, is going to be around this way. One of them could maybe be in like the Karka Hive area. Maybe both of them. We don't have much further. Maybe we are finally going into a cave. Let's kind of scale really quickly. And then I think if you loop around here, it then loops back in. But maybe we need to go like all the way to the southwest to, is it called Orwain's Refuge, I think. But first, let's just go into this cave so we can like confirm that it's not in the cave. We can finally be on our mount again. So all three are blue now. So we have this cavern area, which used to lead to the Canuck story mission that we have not done because it's not available for players to play through during the times of Living Road Season 1. But there's an opportunity in the far future, and we got that. So there was one in this cave. Finally, at long last, we got one in the cave. I think this one is probably pointing to the Karka Hive. So if we come here, and if it's pointing west, I think we can confirm that it is in the Karka Hive. Yep. But then we have this one that these Karka are really messing me up right now. Go ahead and try to kill this Karka. And then it might be like down here. I never realized you can cut through the map this way, actually. It looks like. If we come here, what is... I don't know if I've ever been... Oh, is this the entrance to Canuck's lair? Okay, let's quickly waypoint there. Okay, it's nice that the waypoints are available. People are doing like the island control meta event when Karka Queen is not going to be up soon. I don't think it's even at the... Oh, it is at the top of the hour. In 40 minutes. So we have a blue one pointing this direction. So I think it might be like by this tree or something if I were to guess. And Southland Cove is really a unique map, but it's so small without much going on. You see some elements of it reused. Okay, there's one this way. Could maybe be on the shore. I was trying to jump up. Okay. Over here. Let's not drop down too far too quickly. Let's go ahead, use the sensor tracking again. Okay, let's go down. And I don't see it, so that means it's probably not where we currently are. Okay, I feel like my eyes are starting to hurt a little bit. Oh, I see it now. I was like right on top of it. Retrieve it. And there we go. Okay, back to Orwain's Refuge. We have one more left, where there's a total of 25, I believe. And now we are finally on the 25th one, so we will be finishing up this story soon enough. Over here, I think it's down. Let's get to the edge. Some lava. Okay, that's pointing down, isn't it? Might be on the other side of the cave. Maybe it's not. Okay, should be right over here. I feel like I hear distant yelling. Okay. This way, maybe? Oh, I don't see it. There's no way it's above me, is it? Oh, there it is. At long last, retrieve it. And we got some bonus vicious claws as well as a destroyer lodestone, which is actually a decently pricey item. I think it's like upwards of a gold, 80 silver right there. But now we have completed everything here except for disturbance in the depths. So let's go ahead, return back to our Char friend all the way where we started this entire adventure in Frostgorge Sound. And we'll go ahead and talk to her. No spoilers now since we did everything. What do you mean? But you were ignored. Those prior page counters, you said the dragon was west of war, but we found destroyers in Ember Bay, which is southwest of war. Sometimes magic is imprecise. Aha. But the next thing you know, they're saying the dragon turned up after all, right where I said it would. Accurate info is always key. Anything I can do to help. My assistants are still charting the disturbed magic flow with a simple enchantment. You can gather up the sensors and I'll study them. I do the legwork and you do the analysis. Sounds familiar. It's a good exchange, then you agree. Speak with my assistant when you're ready. My enchantment doesn't last forever. Hold on a second, I need to know where you got that scythe. Oh ho, I see you appreciate the finer details. This is mine, but let's make a bargain. Help me with my spellcraft, and I'll give you something that'll get you started on getting one for yourself. Where we can go ahead and just exit out of here. And we have now completed Transfer Chaser, where we got a good amount of achievement points for that. And yes, of course, we just heard the name of the next map, Ember Bay. Because we started here in Frostgorge Sound, and heading southwest we went into Snowden Drifts, into Lornar's Pass, into Bloodtide Coast, into Southsun Cove, and continuing southwest, further southwest of Southsun Cove, we have the Ring of Fire, with Ember Bay being the next map that we will be exploring in the next episode. Where we got some rewards here, including a destroyer weapon crate, which is very exciting, where we can get a Soulbound on Use item that is a very special destroyer skin. And if you check the trading posts, we can see that some of these items are very, very expensive, 30 to 40 gold. So we can go ahead and just pick one. I don't think I'm ever really going to use this. Maybe we go with the hammer. Why not? Just because I came up with an idea that maybe I'll do in like 200 episodes or something, but I'll either forget about this moment slash have a completely different idea than the one that I just spent 3 seconds coming up with. So let's go ahead, pick the Destroyer Maul, and that starts our Destroyer Weapons achievement, where we can collect all of those weapons that are like 40 gold each, and we can get a special item in Ember Bay, and then we can get this very cool looking scythe that is a Talon. We did get a mastery point that is not really important for us anymore since we maxed it out, and we got some karma for completing the first part of that achievement, which is very exciting. And that is everything with Transfer Chaser. We're at the end of this episode. I want to do a very quick thing, because if you come into our equipment panel, just to give a quick update, we do have full ascended armor, we have some ascended weapons, we should get some more ascended weapons here. And then we have progressed some of this stuff, but I want to go ahead and get 2 ascended rings. I'm going to do it in a very expensive way, but I'm going to do it because it's very easy and because I have a lot of it. Where let's go ahead and come down here into Lion's Arch, where we can go ahead and buy rings with laurels. And this isn't often really recommended because there are many better ways to get ascended rings, but I just have like 600 laurels right now, and to get these rings is going to be like 80 gold worth of laurels, which is like fine with me, and I'm going to head and probably just sell off the rest of my laurels. But if we come into ascended gear, this ascended gear, we can find rings and we can find a stack combination that we like, and we do need to pick some different ones, where I think I want maybe Vine of the Pale Tree and Back Knock. So let's go ahead, buy these 2 things, and it's actually only like 60 gold worth of laurels, so not as bad as I thought. But we can go ahead and equip that. I think Vine of the Pale Tree makes a lot of sense, and I think this is a reference to something Char related. I'll go ahead and check the wiki. It's a reference to an Indian weapon design to fit over the knuckles, which is very interesting. And I'm not sure if there's any connection to this with the rest of Guild Wars 2, but of course, Vine of the Pale Tree, we know a lot about that, and I think that fits in pretty well. And then we can go ahead and try to get an Ascended backpack sometime, and I don't think we care too much about our underwater gear. And then we do have some of these weapons, but we have now gotten all of these Ascended rings, and I'll probably just sell my laurels just to have some extra gold, because why not? But I think with that, with the Transfer Chaser completed, I'm going to go ahead and call this episode good here. As next episode, we will begin Living World Season 3, Episode 2. But I hope you all enjoyed watching, and I hope you all are taking great care of yourselves. Remember to drink some water and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next time in the world of Tyria. Goodbye.